WSE Lounge.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen of Soap Fans United. First time I've ever done an interview over here on Soap Fans United representing the WSE Lounge. I want to let you know today's show is sponsored by Stevens & Stevens Group Real Estate, the best real estate in Georgia. Looking for a home? No worries. The Stevens & Stevens Group will help you out. Visit their site today, melissastevens.metrobrokers.com. You can contact them at 404-843-2500. And right now, without any further ado, please welcome back to the WSE Lounge. You know her from As the World Turns, General Hospital, Bold and the Beautiful, and other great movies and shows. Please welcome back Lesli K.
Hello.
Hey, Lesli. I know you're under the weather, and I hope that you get to feeling better.
It's okay. I just worked too hard.
Okay. First, before I get to the questions I have a fan that's already asked a question. Taylor Stutz Blake said, "Hi Brian, what about Days of Our Lives?"
Yeah, right? What about Days of Our Lives? I should be on that next. We know this. They need to know it. Marty knows me. The casting director, Marty, knows me very well. We're decent friends. And I actually coached Victoria Conifel, who I guess is on there now, playing Hope's daughter.
Wow. Well, that would be great because
Victoria played my daughter in one of the Lifetime movies I did, and she said, "I said, have you ever been on a soap?" And she said, "No." And I said, "I think you're going to be." And then as soon as our movie ended, she had a call to audition for Days of Our Lives. And her agent said, "You should go work with so-and-so. I won't name the person.
Mm-hmm.
You should go work with so-and-so. She's an Emmy winner. She's this, she's that." And she was going to charge her $100 an hour. And I said, "Honey, my daughter, I don't charge my daughters. I too have an Emmy. Don't go to her. She's not that great. Come to me. Let me help you with this." I coached her, and we had a really good breakthrough for her. She went and she got the part. And I would love to go to Days of Our Lives, but we'll see.
All right. Well, you heard it from Lesli fans, and Days of Our Life. I think it would be great to add you to the show. You've already got Robin Strasser. He used to be Dorian Lord coming into Days of Our Lives, and I saw that Lifetime movie you're talking about, and that was a really good movie with you and Victoria in it. And Taylor Stutz Blake also says, "I love Victoria Conifel and Robert Scott Wilson's chemistry as Ben and Sierra on Days." Yes, I think they have very good chemistry on there, and I think they do a wonderful job on there as well. Now, I did want to ask you, Lesli, what was it like for you working for MTV in the early days?
Yes, that's true.
So what was that like for you working for MTV?
Okay. I was, my first year of college, I was 18, and a girlfriend of mine who was a senior, I was a freshman, she had an internship there. And I was like, I want an internship there. So I didn't get an official internship there. I went back to Charleston, West Virginia. I told my dad that I had an internship at MTV. I got on a Greyhound bus. I went to New York. I went to the Rubin Hall at NYU, and I just signed in and checked myself into a room. I was not a student. And room 420. And I went up to MTV And I said, I'm here for an internship. And I was not asking for a paid internship. And I guess all the other summer interns were paid. And they're like, free labor? Come on in. So I started as an internship. That's what happened. And I ended up doing everything. Because I would stay late. Every other intern at 5 o'clock, and they were done getting paid. They were out the door. So I would stay. And a guy named Joe DeVola, who went on to do, he has a company that you would know. They do Smallville and a lot of other shows.
Uh-huh.
Joe DeVola was a producer at the time, and Vinny Longobardo was a producer at the time. And they just took me under their wing, and I got to do a lot. I mean, like, I would go do cue cards for the VJs.
Mm-hmm.
And one time with JJ Jack, oh, by the way, I got kicked out of NYU. They soon learned that I was not a student there, and I was not on the meal plan. And so JJ Jackson, the VJ, said, you can come stay with me. So there's a little street down in the village called Gay Street. JJ Jackson, may he rest in peace, he took me in. Now, that was a wild place, and I was a good kid. And there was a lot of drugs there. I didn't do drugs, but it was like this little prim and proper girl living in this like really insane house. It was bizarre. And I would go to work every day with him. I don't know what people thought. And I would do the cue cards. And he's like, I want Leslie doing my cue cards. Well, one day the song that he had to announce was Hang On Sloopy, but I thought it was Snoopy. I thought they had made an error, and I switched the L to an N.
Oh, my goodness.
So he's on air, and he read, Hang On Snoopy instead of Sloopy. And do you know that song?
You know, I've watched the Snoopy.
Hang on, Sloopy. Sloopy, hang on. That song.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was what his dialogue was. And I put on the teleprompter, Hang On Snoopy. We still remain friends. He didn't get mad at me, which was very nice.
Oh, that's good.
And then I went on the road with them. Joe DeVola, I had to go. They thought when I came in, they thought I was a senior, but I was not. I was a freshman. And when I said, "Oh, I gotta leave. I gotta go back to school," they're like, "What? We thought you could stay with us. We thought you were a graduate." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm a freshman." They're like, "What?" So I was then in school in Pittsburgh at that time, and Joe DeVola was going on the road with Hall & Oates, and he called me. They were coming through Pennsylvania. They were coming through Pittsburgh, and their PA didn't show up. He said, "Can you come PA the show?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes, I can."
Wow.
So I went to PA the show, and they said, "Can you just stick with us for we're going on the tri-state tour here." So we were going to Pittsburgh. We went to Ohio. I know we were in Akron, and I didn't go back to school. We didn't have cell phones then, right? I didn't go back. I didn't have any money. I didn't have any clothes. I was wearing Daryl Hall jackets, like just to have something different to put on. And my friends joked around, "Did you get John Oates underwear, or did you wear the same underwear?" I'm like, "I washed them." Anyway, I was with them for like a week, and no one knew where I was. And it was kind of like that movie Almost Famous. Like I would go down to the bars, and I would hook them up with whatever they wanted. And then I would go back to my room. It was crazy. Insane. But that was the life of an 18, 19-year-old Leslie K.
Wow. I got another question from Taylor Stoots Blake. She says, "Do you think Ben and Sierra will have a baby on Days?" I do.
I don't watch Days of Our Lives, Taylor. I wish I did. I don't watch any soap operas right now. I work my butt off, and I don't have time. I'm sorry. I would like to be back on one, but I really don't watch them, sadly, because part of it is if I watch them, it just makes me sad that I'm not on the soap right now.
Okay, and I have some other questions for you that I made sure I screenshot it so I would get to them. This is from Angelique D. Veries. I believe I pronounced the last name right. She says, Leslie K. joined her page. Could you ask her what her plans are? Any new projects in the works? Miss seeing her on TV.
I'm missing Angelique Devry in Belgium. I think I need to come back. I think that we need to produce something in Belgium, and so then I can go see Angelique. She's amazing, by the way. So what am I doing? I was just in Pennsylvania working on something, but I can't really talk about it yet.
Okay.
And mainly, I was mainly there behind the camera than in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
This guy that I think last time I was on your show, I was picking him up at the airport.
Yes, you were.
And I was helping him, coaching him,
Mm-hmm.
and ended up getting to do quite a bit behind the camera, which was awesome. So I got to, set up shots and make sure shots were lit correctly, and it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of fun. But as far as projects, no, I am in the operating room a lot, and I would love to go back on a soap. That's really what I want. So I'm going to make sure I just pray every day, and I know that God listens to what
Amen.
is right, and the right thing will happen.
Okay. What was your favorite memory of working on As the World Turns with Molly Conlon, who was played by Emmy Rossum as your daughter?
All right. It's funny. My kids love Shameless. My son is 19 and he loves Jackson loves Shameless.
Uh-huh.
And I went in there and I'm like, that's my daughter. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, she's my Emmy is my daughter. What do I remember about Emmy Rossum best? Because she wasn't on all that long. Christina Cisco came on and made Abigail older.
Uh-huh.
Emmy was like 10, maybe 11, 12. And she was really cute. But her mom came in and I was talking to Emmy. And I said, what's your name? Because I hadn't really met her that. They brought her in to meet me. I said, what's your name? And her mom said, her name is Emmy. Spell it E-M-M-Y, like the award that she's going to win one day.
Wow.
So that's what happened, and I think she probably projected the future because she probably has won an Emmy. I don't know. I don't watch them, but I think
Mm-hmm.
that she is unbelievable on Shameless. I like to think I had one little part of it. Like I hope she had one positive. I think that would be a better question for her because it's like I hope she had one positive little takeaway from working with John Hensley and myself because we really had fun working with her. She's adorable, but now she's just like, when there's scenes in Shameless where her clothes come off, I can't watch.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's my daughter. I can't watch it.
Joshua Dixon says, what was your favorite part in daytime? Would you come back to Bold and the Beautiful?
I absolutely would come back to Bold and Beautiful. Here's the thing. Molly, I created that part,
Mm-hmm.
but Molly was always a loner. I mean, except for when she finally got Jake, and that family and found Abigail. But Molly was a loner on the show. Like, there were no other McKinnons, I mean, not McKinnons. There was no other Conlons on the show.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Felicia was from the core family. And even though I took that role over, somebody else had played her. Colleen Dion, I believe, had played her. Even though I took that role over, I feel like it was my part. I feel like I always felt like, it was my role. I felt like it was, and I was immediately open-armed into that family. In fact, on Mother's Day, I sent Susan Flannery, happy Mother's Day message. She's in Australia.
Oh.
She says hello. She says hi. And she is like my mom, and McCook is like my dad, and I just got to work with Ron in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
But
Ron Miles?
Yeah,
Okay.
we did the show. We were on the show The Bay in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot. That's where I met Angelique. But it was so much fun. It was absolutely like, it made me realize that there's a big, big world out there, and it's not just LA and New York and West Virginia, wherever I've lived. So I would like to travel. So, unfortunately, and I know Bold and Beautiful has done a lot of location stuff, and I've never been on location. When I went back to finish As the World Turns, I was so excited to finally. They said we're going we're just going to Ohio, but we're going on location, and I was just excited to go anywhere, you know. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited, we're going on location. And then they decided to cancel it, and we just took a ferry out to Staten Island. That was it. I'm like, that's not location. That stinks. But it was fun. Nonetheless, I loved that show. I think that I don't know why Felicia's not back yet. It kind of boggles my mind. Hopefully I will get to come back. I would love to work with Jackie, and I think that we would have great chemistry together because she has sort of taken over the Felicia type of role.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you mentioned that, and Jacob W. Young, he's singing music and stuff now, but he was kind of surprised though, you know, whenever Bold and Beautiful dropped him from the show, because he was playing Rick Forrester, and then you also got Maya, you know, she was playing on there, and I think she also got dropped from Bold and Beautiful, and there was really no explanation for that, and you see that happen with a lot of characters though, but one mystery that still remains until today, actually still remains today, is that over on One Life to Live, there was a character. He went by the name of Miles Lawrence. If anybody out there watching this remembers that. And I have asked numerous soap opera stars that played on One Life to Live what happened to Miles, who played Mitch Lawrence's brother. And they have no idea. He was on there one day, and he was interacting with Nora Buchanan, and then the next thing you know, kaboom, he just disappeared. There was no explanation of he left town. There was no explanation of murder. He went to jail.
Well, that's kind of what happened to me on General Hospital. You know that? You know that story?
No, I don't, because I know that you. I know you played Lois, and then then Quinn, who plays on Bold and the Beautiful, took over for you on there.
No.
Or you took over for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
She played Lois in the 80s. No,
Okay.
I replaced her. I mean, but it had been like 20 years, so it wasn't really replacing her. They were just bringing Lois back, and I was playing Lois, and Brooklyn was my daughter, and Ned was the husband that I had the daughter with. So we had a nice little family thing going on, and I was written out.
Wow.
I was pregnant with Alec, and I don't think they liked that. Chuck, who was the head writer at the time, didn't really like writing for pregnant women. So I was just written out, and I knew they were not going to write me back in. So my pregnant self waddled over to Brad Bell, and he's like, of course, he's the one that thought of putting me in there as Felicia.
Uh-huh.
And he said, as soon as you have that baby come back, let's talk. So I think Alec was literally 48 hours old. After a C-section. I left the hospital with Alec, went straight to CBS over at the Grove, went straight up to Brad Bell's office with my baby, and said, what do you think? And he said, I think you're my Felicia. And I said, oh my gosh. And so the meeting went so long with us talking that I actually had to feed Alec I'd breastfeed him in the middle of the meeting. I have a towel over her. I'm like, feed. I said, so the joke was like, that's why I got the part. He wrote Felicia in with a little baby boy. So that was, I think, the vision that he had right in front of him. But I miss that guy. Brad saved my rear end. He really did. And then he kept me on. I was only supposed to be on to come back and die of cancer. And then I remember the day I got 5 dozen long stem white roses, and I still have the card. It said, "Felicia lives. I'm thrilled. Love, Brad."
Oh, well, that was sweet.
So my allegiance is to that man and to Bold and Beautiful. So of course I would go back. I would always go back. I just told him when I left to finish out As the World Turns in 2009 and 10, they asked me to go finish Molly. And of course, that's, I wanted to go finish that. So and they didn't have a storyline for me at the moment at Bold and Beautiful. And I asked Brad, I said, listen, if it means you're going to take me off contract, I don't want to go. And he said, no, we're not going to do that. And the minute I stepped my big toe on JetBlue to go back to New York to finish, I was taken off contract. So in his mind, yeah, which is fine. It's just when I came back, that's when I went, okay, the handwriting is on the wall for me. So I kept saying to God, if, like, any reason to not go back to school. I really wanted to go back. But that's a big commitment, right? To go back to school at 40. To go back to school for...
I mean, you can do it at any age, though,
No, but it was surgical technology. It was pathophysiology, physiology, microbiology, chemistry, physics. I mean, it was no joke, right? So
wow.
I went back to school, right, with mostly 20-year-olds. And I was like, God, anything. Like, I had a really good reel that year. And I was like, okay, if I get nominated for an Emmy, that's a sign to not go to school, to stick with it, to try to get back on Bold. And I did not get nominated. Like, I kept giving myself little things like that. Okay, God, if this happens, that's a sign to not go back to school. Well, all signs pointed towards school. So I'm glad I did, because it is not that this is not why I did it, but it happens to be the most lucrative thing I've ever done in my life, including acting. So going back to soaps would not be about the money at all. It's just about that I love them. I love the soap bands. I love the whole industry of the soap, the community of it. I like going to the same job every day. And yeah, and the crews. Like, I'm friends with the crews at almost every show because they get moved around too.
Okay. Now, I remember, we just spoke about you being Lois on General Hospital. I'm just going to cut to the chase on this question. You had a bold attitude similar to that of Jane Elliott that played Tracy Quartermain. How was it for you working with such a talented actor as Wally Kurth?
It was awesome. We had great chemistry. I loved him, and then they didn't put us together much. They put me with Ted King.
Oh, Alcazar.
I thought, Alcazar, right. I thought it was a bit of a mistake. I thought they should have played the stuff, the chemistry and everything between Ned and Lois more. Wally and I have great chemistry. I miss him too. I haven't seen him, but the girl that played my daughter, Adrian, she goes by Adri now. Adrian Leone, she just texted me yesterday and asked me to go to Wally's event in, I think, August. It's either July or August. I have to look.
Cool.
But he has an event where his band is playing and everything.
Yes.
She said, Lesli, we've got to go. And I said, I'll go. That'll be awesome.
Yes, he does. He does a good job at singing, and he's amazing. He does the singing and does Days of Our Lives as Justin, and does General Hospital as Ned, and I mean, he just does a great job.
He's a great person, and he deserves all of that.
He really is. He really is. I remember having him on the show a couple years back, and he was talking to me about his band, and everything, and you know, the soap opera. And at the time, he was actually, he told us on the show actually that Days of Our Lives would not allow him to work GH and Days, so he had to, at the time he was leaving GH to go work solely on Days, and then they got a deal worked out to where it was long after the interview was over where he returned to GH and did GH and Days. So, you know. I
know we had the same manager, so I
heard
the whole story from the back scene.
Well, that's great. And I've got some more questions for you from fans. Let's see, where do I start? Okay, Jay Cavini says, now this is one whole question. Did you prefer doing soap work in New York City or California? And did the writers on Dark Shadows reach a point where they didn't understand what was going on in the story? Someone suggested that they asked the fans outside the studio, and the fans had the answer.
I did not watch Dark Shadows. The new one, the old one I remember hearing about when I was little. What was that first part of the question?
Did you prefer doing soap work in New York City or California?
I am a Gemini. I can live and love anywhere I live.
Okay.
So I just prefer the work. It's a great question, but I honest to God, I did not have a preference. I just love going to work. That's it. Was it easier to get to work? And, I'll tell you the difference. In New York, you can take a subway from the city, or they send a car service, and you just sit in the back of that car and get to work. And the studio sends it for everybody. Or the show did. In LA, you've got to battle morning traffic and get over Laurel Canyon. So you got to get yourself there, and you got to drive in traffic. I don't know, but I certainly like being at that CBS building at the Grove because there's so much you can do right there. All right, I'm going to go with LA.
Okay. And Carrie Stauffer says you are just beautiful.
Wow. Thank you.
And I believe you may know this person. I'm not sure, but Matthew Griffin says, who was your favorite editor on As the World Turns? And I don't mean Bob. Ha ha, mess you, Leslie.
Matthew Griffin was my favorite editor. When I just had Jackson and he was a baby, my dressing room, they put me in this big room down in the basement right near the editing bay. So Jackson would always go right in there and visit them. I would hang out with them more than probably anybody else in the studio. So Bob and Matt, and they were all my best buddies down there. Jen was down there. Peppermint, she was down there at the time before she started directing. So we just had like a blast down there. So yes, I miss Matt. But then I see his name. I watch not the real true crime stories. What's the other one?
Forensic Files?
What?
Forensic Files?
No. Not 48 Hours. Another one. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on it.
It's not America's Most Wanted,
anyway,
is it?
I always see Matt's name. No, hold on. I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
I always see Matthew's name at the end of it. So that's what Matt is doing, and I miss it so much. Any other questions there?
Jay says, I remember meeting Lesli at Broadway Cares some years ago.
That was a great event, huh?
She said that was a great event, Jay. And I also have another question from a fan named Amanda Butch. Says, loved her as Molly on As the World Turns. I would love her to come on GH again in either her former role or new role, it would be great to see her act with Maura West again.
I agree. I put that out to the universe a lot because I'm sorry, what was that person's name?
Amanda Butch.
Amanda, from your mouth to God's ears. I miss Maura, and I know the only way I get to see her is if we work together because we're both so busy in our personal life. And I do miss working with her, and I thought we had an amazing thing together on camera. So, yeah, in a dream world, I would love to go back to GH. Mark Teschner is a very good friend of mine, so I'm always up to speed with what's going on there. But yeah, I would love that. So I'll pray for that too.
Awesome. And speaking of GH, if the opportunity was given, would you consider returning with Adrian Leon, I believe I'm pronouncing the name right, who played Brooklyn, at the Nurses Ball and do a singing duet with Wally Kurth, Ned Ashton?
That would be amazing, but I would have to lip sync because I cannot sing so well. I can play a tambourine, I can play the drums. Maybe if they would let me just play the drums, that would be okay. I can dance. I was a dancer. I was a professional dancer, ballet, and many other things, but I do not, no one would want me singing at that ball. Adrian, however, has a heck of a voice, and she plays guitar, and she's amazing. So I think that the mother should just go support the daughter and,
Yeah.
I think. But it would be fun. I know that they just shot the Nurses Ball, right?
Yeah, it's actually supposed to start airing tomorrow, actually. So,
right.
I think this year is supposed to be 11 days, but I'm not exactly sure on that, so don't quote me on that. But I know it's supposed to be a lot more days than it's been being in the past few years.
No.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say I've never seen the Nurses Ball, and when I was on GH, I was never there for the Nurses Ball, I guess. So that's strange, but no.
That is strange.
Go ahead.
You should watch it tomorrow.
Maybe I will. But I work. I'm not home. I'm not home all day ever. Ever.
Well, you could record it or something, couldn't you?
I can't. I don't get any. I cut cable.
Okay.
I don't have the way.
They make like a DVR box that they sell. I seen them the other day at Walmart. You can buy, and you can hook it to your TV, even if you don't have cable and have antenna. Like an antenna, and you can. Yeah, you can record like from the DVR box from there.
Okay, I will look into that.
Great, and I have another question coming in, and this name looks familiar. I don't know if he's an actor or not, but his name is Justin Lewis Fleming, and he says, "Do you agree that Summer is taking no accessibility for her actions on Young and the Restless?" Well, you don't watch Young and the Restless, do you?
I don't.
So,
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what. I'll answer that question. Justin, I do agree that Summer is taking no accessibility for her actions on Young and the Restless. So I do agree with you. So there you go. That's your answer to your question. Who was one person from GH that you would have loved to work with but never got a chance to?
Let me think about that. At that time, with what was going on with the story, I got to work with a lot of people. I even worked with Edward Quartermain. I think I worked with Jane Elliott. I think I worked with everybody. I mean, Maura wasn't there then,
What about Maurice?
I worked with Sonny Moore. Pardon me?
Maurice Bernard.
I worked with him.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Lois, that's how she originally came onto the show. Lois was
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I was still in school when you come on the show, so that's why I don't remember
Right.
it quite as well.
I mean, I didn't get to work with anybody enough,
Uh huh.
but I did get to work with him, and I would definitely like to work with him more.
Okay. And now we're going to go to a commercial, and then we'll come back and ask some more questions.
Oh, okay. You got me. I got to pick my son up at school, but I can do that and talk to you at the same time.
Okay.
Hi everyone, this is Kristen Alderston from One Night to Live, Natalie Star Manning, and Tiki Jerome on General Hospital. I am in an off-Broadway show called The Marvelous Wonderette, playing Cindy Lou. You can come see me in New York on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and you can use the code TRSTARR. That's TRSTARR for 40% off. Hope to see you soon.
And I want to let you know, folks, since that was recorded, the show now airs only on Sundays, so it does not air on Wednesdays or Thursdays. But be sure and use that code that Krista mentioned, and you can get 40% off. And Jay can tell you all about that. And that is the Marvelous Wonderettes. Okay, now we're back with Leslie Kay. Do you ever stay in touch with Virgin Williams, who played Alice on GH?
No, I don't think I knew her.
She played Alice Quartermain on GH. She was always cooking. She was their
But I
cook.
didn't work.
Oh, you didn't?
Right, but we didn't work together now.
Okay. How did it feel for you playing the part? Okay, you basically already mentioned that earlier about playing the part of Felicia Forrester on Bold and the Beautiful, so we will not get back into that because we already talked about that earlier. Okay, next question we're going to move on to. What are your fondest memories of working with the late Christopher St. John and Jenny Cooper in Carpool Guy?
Well, Krista was funny, fun, uplifting. I miss him, and it makes it really difficult to think about. So I don't know. That depression is a very real thing. I can't even imagine losing one of my boys, and it's really hard for me to talk about Christoph right now. But I know he's in a better place because he was tortured every day, and nobody would have known because he was just always upbeat, always smiling, always positive, and always happy. And same with Jeannie. I mean, Jeannie did not take her own life, so it's a totally different story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she had a great life. She too has great boys. And I worked with Corbin on Carpool Guy, and I worked with Corbin on General Hospital, but I worked with Colin long ago on a show called hold on a second. It was with Rick Springfield, and it was in the 90s, like 1996. It was called, hold on, and this is what's funny. I worked with the guy on there. I worked with Colin. That's when I first met him.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, that's when I met Jeannie. So I've known Jeannie a long time. And then, you know, of course, her character was Kay. So we used to have a good laugh about that. But my favorite thing about Carpool Guy was her being written, this character that was so juicy and so much fun by her son. And now my boys are both going to end up in the business on the backside, not in front of the camera. And they say they'll write parts for me. So I hope I live in Jeannie's footsteps. That's all I can say.
Okay. And I want to let you fans out there know that if you'd like to see Carpool Guy, I recommend the movie. Not only has Leslie Kay in it, and the late Jenny Cooper, and the late Christopher St. John, but also Alicia Lee Willis, Courtney from General Hospital, Rick Hurst, Rick Lanson from General Hospital, Sean Keenan, who played Deacon Sharp on Bold and the Beautiful, and Anthony Geary, who plays Luke Spencer on General Hospital, among other great soap opera stars, including Corbin Benson. But yeah, that's a great movie, and I never got the opportunity to meet Christopher St. John, but I did get a chance to call into a show one time he was on, and we spoke for a few minutes about the storyline they were doing, the cancer storyline with Lily, and then the hearing loss storyline with Devon on Young and the Restless, and and Christopher was a great person just for that brief moment that I talked to on the phone, and he seemed like a wonderful human being, and I know that he never got over the loss of his son, and that was a tragedy and everything. And we have another question from a fan. Jay said, "Is a half-hour soap easier to do than an hour show?"
I think they're all easy because they're all fun and they're all a dream job. But no, because you usually shoot 2 a day, so you don't work less hours necessarily. It's really not that much different, except for that you get paid for a half-hour show. So if you do 2 a day, you get paid twice a day. I guess it's better pay.
Okay. And I have another fan question, and this was actually from last time, but I didn't get a chance to ask you. And this is also from, how do you say her name again? Is it Angelique?
Angelique DeVries.
Okay. Angelique DeVries. She asks us, if you could play any part, what and who would it be? She says you're such a great actress, beautiful inside and out.
Thank you. I did answer that last time.
Oh, you did? I was thinking you did. As I was reading that, I was thinking, I think I've already asked this.
And I'm going to tell you my answer again.
Okay.
And thank you, because I had another compliment in there, so thank you for that, Angelique. I think she's beautiful inside now, so there you go. I think that I'm going to answer it the same way.
Okay.
Rare food is that I would like to play a medical role, because that's what I do. I put spines back together.
Uh-huh.
I rep spine fusion instrumentation implants. I do plastic surgery. I operated on people's body parts last night until I finished surgery at 1 in the morning, got home at 3 in the morning.
Wow.
I would love to put the two worlds together and play something medical. In fact, I just did a whole medical setup for my son. My 13-year-old is doing a movie. I have to go pick him up right now.
Uh-huh.
This all came full circle. I'll tell you what. So I just set up. I would like to play a medical role or be like a medical tech advisor on something that I get to actually play. Because I set the girl up in his movie. He supposedly just had a baby. It looks really real. I can't wait to show you. But I'll put it up on my YouTube channel when he has it done. But the show that I was talking about with Rick Springfield was called High Tide. And Alec had 2 actors bail on him. And he really needed, his teacher said, when she read it, if the lead role was black, her husband is black. She said, if the lead role was black, I would have more empathy for the character.
Mm-hmm.
And so Alec's like, okay, well, didn't really know a 20 to 30-year-old black actor that would fit the part. So I called people I randomly knew, but everybody bailed on him last minute, which is horrible to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at the 7-Eleven the other night, and I ran into Richard Whitten. Richard's been on a lot of soaps, I think, too. Really good-looking dude. And I said, I got to ask you to bail me out. Bail my son out. Anyways, Richard is shooting the movie for my son yesterday and today, and I better go pick them up and take them to set. But, so anyway, that just came full circle there in that story.
Okay, and I want to ask you.
I would like to play a doctor, and my son better write that role for me, is what I'm saying.
Okay, And I want to ask you really quickly, because I know you got to go pick up your sons. The last time you were on, you mentioned possibly coming to Atlanta and working at Emory. Have you thought any more about that?
Absolutely. In fact, more about it, because I was just talking to my friend who we lived together for 8 years. He went to Orlando. We're trying to figure out a place that we would both be happy living, and that answer is Atlanta, because there's a lot of work in Atlanta. I know Rick Hurst came to Atlanta, and he told me he's really happy. He's working a lot. I know that they shoot a lot of stuff there, and I have a lot of medical connections there, so it might seem like a great place to go.
Awesome.
I will keep you posted on that.
Okay, yeah. My doctors are actually at Emory. I don't know if did I tell you last time that I just got out of the hospital? Did I tell you about that?
No.
Last time, well, back in December, I had my 12th heart surgery. It was my second open heart surgery. I was born with 5 holes in my heart, and doctors said I'd never live past infancy. And you know, I'm a walking miracle. I thank God every day for what He's done for me. But when I had the surgery in December, they fixed 2 aneurysms. They fixed 2 aneurysms on my heart, and they replaced my mitral valve. So and then I got out of the hospital in January, and you were my first interview that I had since I gotten out of the hospital. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, you were actually the first one that I'd had since I'd gotten out of the hospital, because I had stopped it last year at the beginning of December, because I was going to the hospital in December. But yeah, Emory's a real good hospital and everything, and I highly recommend it to anybody out there. Are you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a friend of mine who was my first boyfriend at summer camp when I was very little, like 13, 12. Dr. Peter Abramson, he's like the top ENT facial plastics guy in Atlanta, and he went to Emory. I know they have a very good med school.
Oh yeah, they do. They've got see, after I got out of the hospital, I had to, when I was in the hospital, they had to put a shot into my throat, because I couldn't swallow any food or drinks, and I couldn't even talk real high. I could just talk real low, because they had to take the breathing tube out of me like 3 times. They had it in me 3 times. And so they did the shot thing, and it helped strengthen my vocal cord that had paralysis in it. And so it, I was able to get my voice back by the grace of God, So, but, I'm doing a lot better and everything, and, I give God all the credit for it.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yes, I'm very thankful and everything. And does any fans got any more questions for Lesli K? Okay, and I want to ask you, Lesli, real quick. Do you have anything you'd like to promote? Upcoming projects where the fans can follow you at, keep up with your work?
At the moment, I have a Lifetime, I believe it's going to be on Lifetime movie coming out that I just did with Vivica Fox.
Okay.
And the name changed so much, I can't tell you the name, because any other movie I've done with that group, the shooting name never becomes the air date name, and then nobody can find it. So I'll keep you posted on Messenger
Okay.
when I know the actual name of it.
Okay.
But when I shoot things, I kind of then forget about them and never pay attention to them again. So I actually forget to even shoot. I true. I can shoot something, go home that day, and pretend it never happened and move on.
Oh, wow.
You know? And that's just me, because I have people's lives. You know, I get to work with people in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of takes precedence.
Oh, yes, I understand.
The last movie I did, that's what I did. I would operate in the morning onto set, and they would get quickly put some makeup on me, or not at all. I don't even know what I look like in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not good. But bring you over to my car. There you go. But I ended up having a great time on this movie. David Dakota directed it, and he directed me in my very first movie ever in my life. So that was really fun.
That's awesome. And fans,
He
you.
also directed.
Oh, go ahead.
He also directed. I was just going to say he also directed the one I did with Victoria.
Oh, great! That's great. Victoria Rowell. Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about now. The one that plays on Days of Our Life.
Yeah.
Okay. It's hard to keep up with everybody's name, I tell you.
I know. It's true.
But Leslie, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come back on the WSE Lounge for an interview, and I wish you the best in all you do, and and I hope everything works out for you where you can come back on GH one day and play side by side with Myra Morrow West. That would be great, and I wish you all the best of luck.
That would be so much fun. In fact, I've got an old picture of the two of us. If I can find it, it is the absolute best. I think it was done for Soap Opera Digest, but I don't know if it was ever put in there. I'll look for you.
Okay.
But anyways, yes. From your mouth to God's ears, let's just all pray for good days and health for you, health for everybody.
Amen. And thank you so much for being on.
Have a blessed day, babe.
Okay, you too. Okay, bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Soap Fans United, I hope you all enjoyed that special interview here presented by the WSE Lounge to you, from me to you, thanking all you fans for all your great support over the years with actress Lesli Kay. Do not forget, speaking of soap operas, next week, next Thursday, May the 23rd, let's see, right there, Maurice Bernard will be joining me. He'll be returning to the WSE Lounge. I don't know what time, but I will let you all know what time. But you can type in WSE Lounge Group on Facebook, request to join. I'll accept your join request, and you can see that interview live on the WSE Lounge Group next Thursday, and I will let you know what time when I find out. But Maurice Bernard, Emmy Award winner, will be returning next Thursday to the WSE Lounge. Thank you so much, Jay. I really appreciate it. And also, everybody, if you could, go and like Kristen Alderson Fans, that's ran by Dottie L. Huckle on Facebook. It's a great page if you don't like it already. Great page. She does a wonderful job with it. And be sure and like the WSE Lounge group on Facebook. And I'm going to let Hudson West close us out as always.